help if I had the microphone over here, huh? I'm not really good at starting these. Anyway, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining us. I was actually scrambling a little bit to get some footage together. We had so much to talk about. I wanted to try and get it organized a little bit. But anyway, I think we got plenty to talk about tonight. Thanks, Eric, for the tip before I even went live. That's awesome. Ken Barrett, Sean Harmon, thanks for joining us early. Sean on the fuel hats, SPE fuel hats. That he's talking about F-150 fuel hats. I do not know. I will try to get an update. Get back to you personally, Sean, and maybe talk about it next week. Hey, Jess, what's up? Hoodley 50 all motor talk. Yeah, we got some more fast all motor cars for sure. Thanks, Eric. Revit Racing, Dallas, Texas in the house. What's up, Walter? Boosted F-150. Yeah, those 10R80 F1 or Mustangs are crazy. We're really starting to get those dialed in. Nick's car is amazing. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Paramount Speed, what's up? You're one of them. Roadcone Terry, what's up? We're talking about you. Ben, what is up? What's up, Justin? Yeah, just hit us up at our normal sport areas, and we'll get you taken care of. Hey, it's the Kentucky crowd in the house. Letitia Hughes. What's up? Sorry, I didn't make it to Bowling Green. Voodoo Kev. Yeah, Donnie did good. We're going to talk about him real soon. Anyway, let's see. We got a good amount of people in here already getting started. I wanted to talk to you guys about some apparel we got coming and already available on the site. Starting with, perfect for the winter coming up here and the cold nights at the track. Hey, Medusa Twin Turbo, TJ, what's up? El Prepe. You don't use that anymore, do you? But that's what I know you as. Anyway, Palm Beach Dyno, RUNPBD Sweatshirts. Get them on the site right now, up to XXX. There is a link in the description directly to the page. There's the back. You get the idea. Okay, there's that. Wait. Simon. Man, Simon is on cue. He doesn't even bark that much, but I go live and it all goes to hell. J Mac Garage just ordered a hat and a hoodie. Thank you. We've got a nice ass, Ben. It's filtering that, but I'll hit show. Anyway, what we're also going to do is we got a lot more apparel coming. I've got a hat coming, another hat. Rob, the Tune Maker Shoemaker hat coming. It's like a mesh style back. Hey, Brandy, can you come take care of him? Mesh style hat with the Rob logo up here. But what I have under this sweatshirt, which I have to take off because it's way too hot, I planned it that way, is what I think a lot of you guys are going to want. So let me do that real quick. Oh, check out my LMT hat here too. Sorry, I got way too close to the mic there. LMT. Look what we got here. This isn't the final version. This is a sneak peek. Dan, I love my dog. I just don't like when he barks during my live feeds. Anyway, this is the Leave Me Malone shirt featuring Rob, Tune Maker Shoemaker. We're going to make a couple changes to this. This is just a test shirt. I'm going to... I don't know. Even though Post Malone has this, I might tweak that. I think I'm going to get rid of the sword here. Sword and add some taco tears, maybe. Anyway, a lot of people seem to like it. I got this one done as a quick test print, see what we thought. And I like it. So we're going to make it. Anyway. All right. So what else we have? One more thing, a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you that are got the Supercharger lid on order, we got a lot of those already on order, and we've got even more being made. LMT just got in a 2,700 pound pallet of aluminum for these. We're going to be offering the lid in 2 different styles. So I'll be contacting you, anybody tomorrow who hasn't heard from me already. I will be sending you guys this, and this right here this is the 2 different style lids that we're going to offer, at least to start. And right now, on the people I've heard from, it's about 50-50. So, sorry. This is not behaving. So the one on the left, it's in the exact same spot it was. The one on the left is got like a stock style setup with the relief there where the snake goes. So we're going to hopefully set this up where the factory snake will go. That's a really thick piece of metal that's in the factory lid, and we're working on that, but it should fit. We're also going to offer an aluminum plate that goes in there like the factory one with custom engraved. Well, there's going to be some backup. Let's go. First, there's going to be standard engraving, and there's going to be custom engraving on both styles. So we'll talk about the smooth style first. Like, one option is an American flag. There'll be some different logos if you want to get that on there. And those will be, included in the price. You can get it blank if you'd like, or you can also do a custom logo, shop logo, things like that. You're not going to be able to get the actual real snake in there from us. We can't sell it. So anyway, on the other one is going to be the stock style that has the relief. So we think the factory snake will fit in there and work well. And then on the lower part, on the front part, is a spot for your engine tag. And I did successfully take both of those out of the stock lid, although the snake is very difficult to get out. Those are available from the Ford dealer. They're just on back order. So I think the best bet is to start with a new one. So hopefully they won't be on back order too much longer, because the lids are already being cut. So if you want to get in on this introductory pricing, be sure to hit us up. Anyway, enough of that. Let's start talking about some fast cars. Let's see. I'm going to check up the comments. There's Mr. Wonderful, Nick, 6 or 10 or 80 King. I hope you enjoy it, because I'm driving the car. It's going to beat you this week. Maybe. Anyway, I'm just kidding. We're on the same team. I get to drive Carlos Vera's car, who is held the record for not very long, a few weeks there. And then Nick just broke it. And, maybe it'll be fun. We'll go back and forth. We'll just kind of toss the record back and forth between all the PBD Whipple monsters. What's up, Mike? Mike is one of our new sales guys. If you call, you may talk to him. He's also pretty active on Facebook, I think. And I don't know about Instagram, because I'm not on Instagram much. I really need to do that. I got a mental block with Instagram. That's where I should be, but I can't really get into the groove. I post something and I get like one comment. I don't get it. I don't understand how it works. I'm too old. Hey, Pedro, what's up? Thank you. He has the 2020 GT500 for those that are wondering. No lift, Nick. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's talk about some cars. We're going to talk about, let's get the GT500 talk out of the way. I know I talk a lot about GT500s, but I love them, and there's something new to talk about. A couple things. Let's talk about who we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Don Walsh Jr. I've spoken about Don quite a bit, and Don is, a very seasoned racer, pro mod, NMRA 5.0 champ. I mean, you name it, very well respected. And he just recently got his 18-inch wheels on the car and took it to NMRA Bradenton for True Street. And I think a lot of you guys know what True Street is, but for those of you that don't know, you go on a 30-mile cruise, and then you do 3 back-to-back passes, and they take the average, and then they rank everybody. Well, Bowling Green is one of the most important ones to go to for that, because it's the most the biggest participation. I believe there was over 140 cars registered. Not all of them, or many of them, didn't make the entire trip and the 3 passes, but Don did. So anyway, let's talk about let's look at one of his passes. Unfortunately, that's what I was wasting time on right before this, is trying to find some of his passes on Speed Video, and I did find one. I didn't find the fastest one, but let's look at one of his passes real quick.
Of Coyote stock, and here we go, right into first pair of True Street. This is QA1 True Street. If you have
Don's got a Joker's blower.
Grab a chair or get comfy on the fence.
Those are signature wheels, JLT intake, injector dynamics, E85.
It's probably because I have a street strip car, and yeah, unfortunately it's not a Ford, but I still love watching any brand of cars, and there's a whole lot of cool Fords here, and we're starting out with 2 of them. Never thought I'd see turbos in the quarter panels, but that's what Marshall Carpenter has. He is running the 7s in testing. Don Walsh is next to him, the 2020 GT500. Check out the left-hand lane. He is on a pass. 7 seconds coming right up. 762 at only 165 miles an hour. And Walsh, wow, clicking off a 965 at 145 in a air-conditioned, fully loaded 2-ton GT500.
Very cool there. So that's one thing I wanted to show you guys, but you know, one single pass doesn't tell you everything, right? At all, because we can easily, you know, it's called the glory pass, the Hail Mary pass, all those sorts of things, you know, just get everything exactly right, ice it down, wait for the perfect track, wait for the perfect weather, all those sorts of things. And that's a lot of what you see on the internet from me, from everybody, right? We're trying our best, so we're gonna set the stage the best we can. That's not what happened here. This is NMRA True Street. That is, if you've never run True Street, again, there was 140 cars that have to make 3 passes. Well, can't say for sure because I wasn't there, but typically they don't prep the entire time. So you're talking about, you know, 140 cars, so maybe 70 pairs. So you're talking about over 200 pairs of cars going down the track, possibly with no prep whatsoever. So to do good in that class is a lot more than just taking your best pass and, multiplying by 3 and divide, or adding them together and dividing by 3. I don't know how to take an average. Anyway, you know what I was getting at. It's way harder than that. Typically, your True Street average isn't very close to what you can run at your best for a multitude of reasons. But in this case, the GT500 proved itself because, now I'm putting an ice tank in my car. There's nothing wrong with ice tanks. But in this case, Don's is like 100% street. No tricks, full weight, none of the stuff I've done, carbon seats, all that kind of stuff. Just legit 100%. So right here, these are his 3 True Street passes. And so he averaged 965. So out of 140 cars, he was number 7 with a brand new car. That's not even a year old. I don't know. That's pretty cool to me. But wait, there's more. He did manage to run a couple 950 passes, and I want to show you these for 2 reasons. One is the 60-foot. 154 on that one, and 158. Now, one thing you may have noticed is on a lot of these passes, the 60-foot is off a little bit. Or no, excuse me, the trap speed's off a little bit, even though the ET was great. We actually had a plug gap problem that we kind of missed as we stepped down on pulley. Don's on a 265 pulley on these, just so you know. He ran some 960s. The 950 was on a 265. So were the other 960s I showed you, but then earlier in the week he showed up there on a 275 and also went some 960s with the good 60-foot. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit more about the title and why some of you guys are here, which is these fast NA cars. We've talked about Austin's car. Hey, what's up, Trevor? Our NA specialist will handle you guys. Mike Malloy. F-150. Mike, we can probably squeeze you in. We're not booking anything the rest of the week getting ready for FL2K if the hurricane doesn't mess that up. But, you know, you're one of our boys, so we'll squeeze you in. Mark 303 Murphy, I haven't been paying attention. Any headway on GT500 DCT tuning? No. Zero, as far as I know. I don't think we're going to see anything there anytime soon, unfortunately. See, Trevor, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we got to see how fast we can make that thing. Just hit us up later on, and we'll get you on there. Do it at night or something if we have to. Anyway, okay, so the NA cars. Let's talk about that. We talked about Austin's car. We showed you him racing a C7 and all that. We'll talk about Austin's car first. Austin's car, although did very well first time out, it's not really exactly what we're hoping for, but still worth speaking about nonetheless. Let's go ahead and watch his video real quick. Let's see here. Oh, another big thing well, let's watch the pass and we'll talk about it. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. Well, first off, let's look at the time slip because that was a no time deal. You'll see us run no time a lot at our track, and partially or very heavily, a big reason for that is they take best care of the no time cars, so we get the best track prep if we run no time. Here's the time slip. As you can see, that was a foot brake leave, no trans brake, and he did not have time to try trans brake. Unfortunately, he didn't want to just send it on the first one, but I don't blame him. So, you know, a lot of people would be happy with this time slip, but there's so many things here that, you know, you don't know if you don't know the car and all that. It didn't back half very well. The car is going to do a lot better than this, a lot better. But we're still happy with it. So what's left? Trans brake. Trans brake's huge NA, especially on a setup like this that has camshafts. It needs as much help as it can to get out of the hole because we've traded some torque for that high-end power. So trans brake right off the bat with that time slip is going to make a big difference. I would suspect just with the trans brake, that's going to run a low 10. The other big issue that we're having, and I honestly don't have an answer, a lot of people might not tell you this, but I'll tell you, is we're having trouble with the car shifting it. Now, you've seen Nick's, well, you haven't seen Nick's car. You got to stick around for that. We're going to save that till the end, not to the end, but before the Q&A. But you saw Nick's car, that thing's shifting real high. Carlos's Whipple car, the BMR Dark Horse car, all those cars are shifting way up there. For some reason, we can't get Austin's car to shift way up there. So what we're going to do is keep trying. I don't know. We can't figure it out, honestly. I mean, we found a couple of things that were a problem. We found a problem with the ABS. We found a couple other little issues, and for whatever reason, it doesn't want to go any higher than 881, and this particular setup needs more than that. And that's where his trap speed is for sure. So, you know, happy with that, but there's a lot more to go. And I think that's really the only pass he got. We've had awful weather here recently, and he ran up to Orlando to make that pass. Next, let's talk about sorry, guys. Hold on one sec. Oh, I thought I had it handy, but I don't. Anyway, we were going to talk about Brian Sneed. He's out in Oklahoma City with our NA specialist, Trevor. He runs under the Tricky flag. For those of you that don't understand how this all works at Palm Beach Dyno with the tuners, we'll go over that real quick because we've added so many people recently. I want to make sure everybody knows who everybody is. Obviously, there's me. Then we got Rob, the tune maker, shoemaker. We have Trevor. Well, let's talk about let's talk about it in location. So in Palm Beach, we have me, Rob, and James are the tuners. And then in Oklahoma City, remotely, we have Trevor, who is started. He was our first tuner besides myself for Palm Beach Dyno, and he took on the NA stuff, and he stayed in Oklahoma City doing that. And now Kyle, who actually holds the NA, hey, we're talking about NA stuff, perfect. The NA 6R80 record. He now works for Trevor as Trevor's, assistant, apprentice, whatever. But he knows what he's doing already, doing a great job. And that's the team right now. Anyway, so Brian works out under the tricky flag out there, and he went 1050 at 131. I think he's actually been a little bit quicker at Mod Nats last year, but that was in much, much better air. So and that's a stock engine, stock converter, and all that. None of this camshaft stuff, which is great, but it's pretty cool that he's going that fast. Anyway, next up, we got Team Kentucky over here. Letitia and her husband, Rick Hughes, put together this car. She's probably, she is. I said hi to her earlier. She's here in the chat. If you have any questions for her, you guys can ask about her combo. I know a little bit about it. I do know it has a Suncoast converter in it. It is a stock bottom end. It has camshafts and stuff like that. Anyway, let's watch the pass real quick. All right, that was a new best for her. I don't think that's it. That was one of them. I think that's the best. 1035 at 130, almost 132. And this was also at Bowling Green in the True Street deal. She ran True Street with that. She runs the, it's okay if you don't. I don't. I mean, a lot of it's, a little bit because of time. Don't run my car a lot. I don't get to the track a lot with my own car. So if you don't do that, that's fine. But sorry, I just had a problem with my microphone. Just wanted to make sure it sounded okay. But people like Don Walsh and Lee with the GT500 and Letitia and all these people really run the crap out of their car, especially Letitia. She's constantly at Bowling Green. That's her home track, actually. But she does travel with the car, but that's her home track, doing all kinds of 8-mile racing, has her kids racing. They're really dedicated to the sport, and it's good to have them on our team. Brandon Lewis says he's getting his CJ setup dialed in now. That's good to hear. Brian's coming to TJ's rental. That's awesome. TJ runs one of the tracks down in Texas. I believe he works for the NHRA also. He used to be the official NMRA prep guy, and then is down in Texas at home now. Letitia says she's got a Cobra Jet. Yeah, I knew that. I wasn't sure if there was any kind of special details about it. I think you have stock heads, but I wasn't sure. Nick says if you want to set some records, you have to come to Texas and get in on some teeny track prep. Yeah, for sure. We definitely, we have great tracks in Florida, don't get me wrong. Our home track, PBIR, gets a lot of hate on the internet, but I personally like the guys there, and I get along with them. So, it's not always the best track, but it's not always due to lack of effort. It's not the easiest track to set up. It has, it's pretty much built on a swamp. You get water up through the track. It's pretty tough. Anyway, but we certainly don't have the weather ever have any kind of really insane weather. This year at Bradenton for NMRA was probably some of the best weather we've ever had in Florida since I've lived here in 10 years or so. Letitia says, stock heads, comp cams, oil pump gears, nothing supported, just bolted on. So the intake is stock too? The Cobra Jet intake? That's cool. What cold air intake's on that? Is that the Steeda? I know Austin's running the PMAS. I don't know what Brian is running. All right. Anyway, let's get, anybody have any, want to talk about any NA stuff, any NA topics? I mean, I know there's a lot of, you know, it seems like there's a lot of renewed interest in the NA market because we're going fast with them, I suppose. And, you know, 10-second cars without a ton of work and mid to low 10-second cars with some work. And we're hoping to make a 9-second combo, you know, not too crazy. Letitia says she's running this Steeda closed lid cold air intake. So Google sucks. That's a funny name. Does firing order affect horsepower at all? How does that's not really a good topic for this. I mean, yes, there's all kinds of reasons they change firing order. A lot of it is due to drivability, different power profiles, like certain firing orders might make more torque, things like that. But that's a pretty technical discussion, so not really what I want to talk about here. But good question. I like that you're curious about it. Brian Coleman asked, do you gain any horsepower with a ported 19 manifold? Yes. Typically, we do see gains. Now, have I seen cars not gain? Sure. I've seen everything, honestly, with these cars. But in general, you're going to gain with a ported intake manifold. Now, you know, it's not a supercharger. You're not going to just bolt it on and be like, holy crap. But, you know, that's the NA game. You know, 5 here, 10 here, 20 there. And it all adds up. And in the end, you wind up with a pretty fast car, especially if you're willing to lighten the car up. If you're willing to lighten the car up and, you know, do some work to the car, you can really make a pretty badass NA car. I used to be an NA guy, so trust me. Mike Malloy, yeah, firing order is more for NVH. Yeah, especially the little changes you see sometimes here and there. Obviously, there's a major change in like a cross-plane crank deal. That's a different reason, but that's not really probably what your question was related to. Dennis, does the throttle body help in an NA setup? Again, you know, if you take a bone stock car and throw a throttle body on it, I would say probably not very much. But, you know, again, 5 here, 6 here, it all adds up. NVH, Google sucks, is noise, vibration, and harshness. That basically means like, not exactly drivability as far as how the car drives, but like driving experience, how quiet it is, and just how smooth the car runs, things like that. Letitia's running a VMP mono blade on her Cobra Jet. Yep. All right, guys. Very cool. If you guys got any more NA questions, you can throw them my way, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the Whipple cars. So, let's go over. There's 3 cars I want to talk about. We're going to go over this one first. So, let's talk about this car. This is Paramount Speed's car. Even though it has a wrap and everything, it's really not like real racy or anything. It's just, you know, it's a shop car, so it's a promotion. But look closely at the wheel and tire package. 20-inch wheels. So they kind of just threw this together real quick for the rental to see what they would do. Obviously, they were more... Paramount also takes care of Nick's car, which set the record. They were there probably more so to worry about his car, but they threw 20s on to see what they could do. So let's watch this video real quick. All right, as you can see there, he left really, really soft, and that, believe it or not, was a 9.0 pass. Yep, 9.0 on 20-inch wheels. But wait, they decided to launch it a little harder. I got to stop. I got to figure out a way to get that to not autoplay. That's annoying. So anyway, they decided to launch a little bit harder, and, well, you can see it in the title of the video right there. Pretty insane. This is on a 20-inch wheel, guys. Again, this is on TJ's prep track rental.
So obviously, you may not show up at a test and tune and do this, but we have been 137 multiple times or 130s multiple times on 20-inch wheels on other cars, not on a 10 or 80 car though. So this is pretty impressive. Excuse me. So, 860 at 164 on 20-inch wheels that you can drive back and forth to work. That's crazy. There's people out there probably with drag setups that are looking at this and wondering like, what the hell is going on? I can't even get in the 8s, or a full drag setup is in the 850s. That was us. We just went 40s with Carlos's car with a full drag wheel and tire setup. So great job to the guys at Paramount Speed, Mike and Steve. Texas, I would definitely look into those guys. They moved to the Texas area in the last year, in the Dallas area, and doing a great job already. Taking care of a lot of our GT500 customers, GT customers. They got a ton of guys that are following them, so very cool. Voodoo Kev on that. What tire was he running? That's a Mickey Thompson SS. Which is the pretty standard 20-inch that does well. The new Nitto is pretty good too. Omar C, quick question. My buddy told me that a Ford dealership can't detect the tune after 5,000 miles. It sounds like your buddy wants you to tune your car and doesn't really care about you, because that's a complete lie. I've never even heard that one. That's a funny one. No, that's not true. If you're really worried about warranty, my best advice is I'm in the business of selling you a tune, but don't risk it if you're not really willing to take a risk. It's a risk. You're tuning it. Here's why I say it's a risk. Am I not confident in my tunes? Of course I'm confident in our tunes. We do great. We have, so many great customers. Our tunes get refined over the years and better and better and better. But forget about the tune. A bone stock vehicle can blow up with 10,000 miles. So what if that car was going to blow up with 10,000 miles and it just happened to have our tune on it? So you still could have something go wrong that has nothing to do with anything you did. Just a complete failure. So, but that being said, I haven't really had many customers denied any kind of warranty claims that I can think of. Maybe one or two. Boosted F-150. I think Mike is probably in here. All the Paramount guys are in here. They'd probably be better off telling you. It's a built motor for sure. And it's a Gen 5. Beyond that, well, obviously it's Gen 5. It's a 18 plus, but I don't know exactly if it's a Cobra Jet blower or what the fine details are, on that. There are differences between different Whipple blowers. You have a Cobra Jet setup, you have the regular Mustang GT setup. Dorian, I think you have a Gen 5, but yours isn't. Yours is like the Mustang one adapted. The new F-150 one is actually a lot better because it has the taller hat. Geo 18 Auto, what would you recommend, Vortec or Wimple? That's funny. No, Whipple. Whipple, yeah. There's nothing wrong with Vortec or Procharger. When I get asked those questions, I feel a little bit set up like, they're going to get mad at me or something. Or people are going to misinterpret what I say if I just go Whipple without explaining myself. A Vortec or Procharger are great superchargers. I personally prefer Whipple, and it's a great setup. But, you can also get into a Procharger or a Whipple a little cheaper if you want to go that way. Geo, I had a tune done by another company and car picked up a virus. And that's not possible, man. Sorry. It could get corrupted file, but there's no automotive viruses that I'm aware of. Pedro, yes. Sorry I didn't have time to do that for you whenever you asked Austin about it. I will get to that very soon. A lot of people are asking about that. Pedro was asking about updating his tire size with foreskin. John, voltages on TPS 1 and 2 on a Whipple car are very important. There's a threshold, and if you're outside of it by just a little bit, it's going to matter. You'll have weird idle issues for sure. Oh, okay, yeah, you got the CJ one on yours, so that's good too. Dorian, F-150. I saw your video, man. the wreck looked bad, the preview of the wreck, but seeing the truck after the fact, man, that's rough. Good luck with it or whatever. I don't know if it's totaled or not. Paramount, it's a piston rod engine and the CJ blower on the 860 car. Walter says he's on an island. A lot of guys, that's a good example. So like Whipple. And I love Whipple and I'm friends with Dustin Whipple. And I'm not telling you because I'm friends with Dustin Whipple to buy Whipple. I like Whipple. But, you got Walter here in the comments. We talked about his car last week. If you didn't see that, go back and watch it. He went 830s. Was it 830s? Ah, damn, I forget, man. So many cars. Low eights with his Procharged street car. That's very similar to the Paramount car, except he did have a drag tire and wheel setup. But that car isn't even dialed in yet, and it's a D1X. It's not a F1 or anything. So you can go fast with the Procharger, especially with the 10-speed. That's a little bit of a levels the playing field, especially. Walters isn't a 10-speed. His is a 6-speed. But on an 18, you got the 10-speed, and that makes the centrifugal a little bit easier to get rolling. Alonzo, the Gen 4 Whipple setup, I would definitely do the Stage 2 with the bigger throttle body. Forget about the Stage 1 stuff. Yeah, Dennis Alexander, there's something for everybody, the Odin VMP. Not many people are going with that, but if you want to go with that to be different, that's great. TJ is going with the On 3 for his new one. Let's see. Oh, Trevor. Okay, so the 1050 is a new best. See, I was talking to Kelly, and he was trying to tell me that wasn't a new best for Brian, and I didn't have time to check because when I'm taking that conversation, I got 3 other conversations going, and I kind of forgot about it. But he made it sound like that wasn't his new best. So it is his new best, 1050. And what was the DA on that one, Trev? Oh, yes. Okay, you already got the answer there. 1700. So, yeah. So if he gets back into the, he can maybe go at 30 or low 40. KB fell off. I think KB blowers are great and they make great power. I think the one issue that KB had with the Coyote was the design of the inlet came down over the valve covers, and once you had the blower on, you couldn't get to the spark plugs. And I think that was one of the biggest problems with where they kind of fell off on the Coyote. And then, of course, the GT500 went away. They were very popular with GT500s. So that's, the blower itself is very good, but a lot of people had a little issue with the spark plugs. Maddox, KB alleges they may come back. I know those guys really well. I was out in California earlier this year helping a friend of mine tune the 2020 GT500 with the Kenny Bell, and it's an awesome setup. It's a little bit more of an extreme setup because you have to make a couple modifications to make it all fit. So it's going to be for that guy that wants that huge old school looking blower on top of the car, and it made great power and it sounded awesome and it was very cool. I drove it around without the hood on it, and it was fun. Brian lives on. Hi, Ken. Can you run long tube headers without cats confidently without check engine light coming on? Yes. All right, guys. Let's get to the next car. So that was Paramount. 860s on 20s. That's awesome. We went a car that I tuned 2014, 2015 with a straight axle, which is, I guess, probably a little bit easier. We went 886 with that car like 5-6 years ago, and I just didn't think anything was going to come close to that. And now here we are almost in the 50s. So, and without even trying, they weren't really hardly trying. That's the big thing. All right. So next up, we're going to talk about Roadcone Terry. This car is out of Ohio, back from where I started in the car game. He runs out of BA Motorsports with Brandon Alsep, and the car has a Whipple on it, of course. It started out as a stick shift car, and Terry wanted to go real fast with a stick shift car. And like a lot of people realize after a while, while it's a great accomplishment when you get there, it's very difficult to get there, and you break a lot of parts. And I think he did go pretty quick, but he eventually put a TH400 in it. It's an absolutely... Hold on one sec, guys. All right, Brandy came in and said I had a mic problem. Does that sound better? I think I know what was wrong. Go tell me, babe. Sorry about that if it sounded a little bit weird. Nobody was really complaining about it, but she said it sounded real tinny, and I think I had something set up wrong. Is that better? All right, anyway, back to Terry's car. This car, I want to talk about the car in general other than just the performance because it's absolutely gorgeous. Terry was... I'll get to you guys' questions in just a couple seconds here. Terry's car is absolutely gorgeous. I didn't really know Terry super well when I lived in Ohio. He was kind of getting out of it, I think, at the time. He had a silver Fox body that was the same way as far as I remember, just absolutely perfect in every way. Every little thing was just clean and done right. Very, very particular, I guess you would say, about the car. So let's go look at a couple more pictures. He sent me a bunch of pictures, which are all great. And now this car is, even though, you know, it's got the drag wheels and tires on it and all that, it's not light. It's 3,900 plus. It does have an ice tank in the back. Nice setup there. I don't know whose ice tank that is. Maybe Tig Vision. We saw those. There's the shifter. What else we got here? There's Terry. He's angry. Look at him. I want to go faster. Just kidding. All right. Anyway, I love these kind of shots. You don't get them as much. Nice parachute shot there. But anyway, let's look at the video of his car real quick. Let's see. Where did I do with that? I lost it. Crap. 1 second here, guys. Crap. All right. Give me just a second. I know where it's at. It's going to take me a second to get it. You guys get your questions in while I'm finding all this stuff.
On up into the number 5 spot.
Okay, we're just going to go straight to his fast pass.
Terry Eschman will come up next, 2016 Mustang.
There's Brandon lining them up. Now, the track wasn't very good, so...
And this should be our final.
And the car's a handful, man. They're trying to get it dialed in, and he just really rolled into it.
As we have turbo battle. Coming on turbo battle class making their way into the lanes. Eschman looking solid so far. Yes, indeed, 854. 164.
That's actually the 854 with... this is the one I wanted to show you. That was the 854, and then I think they went to a smaller pulley. This is his new best. He actually held the S550 blower record for just a couple days, maybe.
Did not work.
Or a day. Until Nick beat it with the 10 or 80.
All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. I need Coyote stock. Coyote stock. I need you to the staging lanes, please.
Check out how soft he leaves here.
Need you to the staging lanes. Pretty please. Right now. G-Force Racing Transmissions Coyote stock. I need you to the staging lanes at this time, please. And Socially distancing himself from
Right down
everybody on the
Broadway.
starting line is car number 7775. Holy cow, 839, 167 miles an hour, and that is a shot right there.
That's not it. I was going to show you the time slip. That's not it. What did I do with it? There it is. Look at that. The big number to look at there is the 13860 foot. Keep in mind that, our boy Nick, who we're going to talk about next, went low 830s with a 11960 foot. Terry went at 839 with a 13860 foot. So hopefully we can get Terry's car down there. At 3,900 pounds, that makes it a little bit, adds a level of difficulty already. I mean, I don't know what Nick's car weighs. I think it's a little bit lighter than that. And getting the converter figured out on a Turbo 400 and all that sometimes can be a little bit tricky. So, based on this time slip here, we're looking at, I don't know, a very, very low 8 or maybe a 7 in really, really killer air. So great job to Terry. I'm going to go, what's up, Bullet? Let's go. I'm going to back up here for just a second, and then we're going to talk about the new 10R80 record holder, Nick, at a Paramount speed with the Whipple. 10R80 Supercharged record. I'll make that clear. Turbo guys, we still got to have a little asterisk next to the Supercharger accomplishments, but I don't know, man. We're starting to get these cars pretty figured out. So, all out turbos are usually faster, but with the added level of difficulty with the 10R80, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can give turbo cars a run for their money. Nick holds the record now, and we're going to keep pushing. He's going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep pushing with Carlos's car. We've Carlos's car going to FL2K this week if it doesn't get really bad with the rain. Okay, anyway, let's see. Roadcone, man, you even have orange heart. That's awesome. I really like that orange. I don't like the newer orange as much, but I like Terry's orange. Dennis Alexander, super clean. Boosted F-150. Have a talking through a fan sound. Is it still like that? I think it's better now. I had the audio coming through twice, so you were like, it was hearing an echo. I think it's good now, though. Maddox going from a Whipple to a single here, but the Whipple on a stock setup is where it's at. Tiffany Nichols. What's up, Ken? What's up? QR Greer QG. How much power do you think a P1 SC on 11 to 12 will make? Full exhaust, 18 manifold, 16 stick car, 93 and tuned by us. On a 16, I mean, with the 18 manifold, yeah, it should make high 600s, low 700 with that setup. No problem. Okay, I see now. I'm way behind on my comments. The audio's better. Next time, tell me, guys. It should sound good. I have a good microphone, all the good stuff. But when there's a user error, you can still mess it up. Anyway, Maddox says good looking wheels. Walter says BA Motorsports and Terry doing work. What do I think of the Mustang that went 7s on stock engine and a 10R80? Very cool. I mean, that's amazing. Great job by Midnight Performance. That's difficult. There's like no asterisk on that. There's no but or any 7 second. I don't even care if it's built. It's a 7 second car. Period. Is badass. End of story. So they did a great job with that. Hoodley 5.0 all motor NA converter, 3,600 pounds, 315 or 373. You're going to want 373. Oh, well, hold on. Yeah, you probably want a 373 either way for NA. Letitia says hers is a 373. That's a 10R80. You have a 6R80, but you're still going to probably want more gear.
Yeah, Maddox. Let's look at that real quick, and then we're going to go over to Nick. I thought I had pictures of his cage. Maybe not. Anyway. All right, guys. I'm almost caught up on the comments, and then we're going to get over to Nick. Serpent Stangs. That's how suspension should work. Let's see. What else? What's safe setup on an 18 GT auto car to get in the nines without worrying about motor issues? The answer, when we're talking about safety, there's a reason you see so many people running E85 because it's not just for power, right? People that are new to E85 may think that, well, you know, I don't really want to make big power. I don't need E85. Well, on a stock engine, it's a safety blanket at that point. If you don't need it for the power, it's still a good idea to run it, especially if you have it in your area. You know, I wouldn't go out and buy cans of E85 if, you know, you don't really need it. But if you can get pump E85, it's probably best to set the car up for that. Nick says he's coming for the turbo guys. They want number one. We are too, man. So hopefully, wouldn't it be great to see a turbo car number 3 on the list? We'll see. Right now, that's fantasy land. But I think we can do it. Just a lot of hard work. John, what's the best way to cut a 60-foot on a stick car that weighs over 4,000 pounds? With a stick car, you got 2 options on cutting a 60-foot. Traditionally, people would run a bias ply tire, end of story, set the car up to spin, and, you know, not my favorite way to drag race anymore. Now everybody wants to run a radial, and you can make that work on a stick car, but it's all in the clutch at that point. Very, very fancy clutches. There are tricks you can do to simulate what people are doing with these expensive clutches with either the clutch tamer, which is what guys with a cable clutch use, or you can use a hydraulic version of that, and that basically you can control how quickly the clutch engages, I guess is, you know, the clamping pressure, because you're changing the how quickly the clutch pedal releases, basically. So you can really do quite a bit with something like that. So if you want to run radials, you need something like that to really go fast, which is hard. Who has the fastest manual S550? Ben Stoner, maybe? That'd be my guess. Fat House. Terry went 9.5 at 156 with a stick, which is, I forgot you went that fast, Terry. That's actually getting it done. We were hoping to go faster, but man, it just gets so hard. I don't know what you're asking, Omega. He says, did we fix the tuning issue, or do you have to unplug your safety features? I don't know what you're talking about. Walter runs a clutch tamer on his Fox. Yeah, they're badass. I mean, obviously, that's not going to work on a newer car, but you can do the same thing, but hydraulically. Just something you don't see a whole lot in our market, but I don't know. Maybe we should. All right. Anyway, let's get on to Nick. First off, let's bring this over here. I don't even have a picture of Nick's car. Got all videos. That's okay. Everybody knows what Nick's car looks like. Let's just go right into the videos. Now, real quick on these videos. I didn't have time to talk to Nick on these, and Nick sent me some videos, and Mike from Paramount Speed sent me some videos, and I didn't even have a chance to look and see if some of them are duplicates. I know he made multiple passes, and also there's multiple angles, so we're just going to watch them all. Omega Racing, that sounds like it's something unique to your car. That's definitely not a common problem, like a fix, like that's a wide known issue. Maybe I think I know the car, which car is yours, but you're the only one in that deal. So there's probably a problem with your car, but hopefully we can work our way around it. That's probably what they meant. Serpent Stangs, real quick. Sorry, let me get back to these comments real quick. Thanks for the tune on my GT500 for the time attack competition. The car rocked all weekend with lap after lap of abuse. That's a very cool thing to point out here. These GT500s, we talk about drag racing accomplishments because it's easier to wrap your head around that. But Serpent Stangs has he has a YouTube channel, and he has a GT500 that he road races, and he's going to drag race, beating the heck out of our tune, and it's doing awesome. So I would definitely check out his channel. So all right, let's hold the questions for a little bit and watch Nick's passes. Man, look at that. I'm not set up for slow-mo here. Let's see if I can pause it. Wheels up, man. Thing. I think on some of the passes it left even. They kept them up even longer. Man, that was pretty long. I mean, they were up. They touched down right at the 60 probably. Here's another pass. Like I said, some of these may be duplicates, but you get the idea. Man, that one, he was way... It went way up in the air. Look at that. He's way out there. He's almost to the tree. Still up. Look at that. That one's definitely close to the 60 foot at that point. Man, that was beautiful. God, I could watch that like 100 times. Here's a cool angle. You can see the tires up real good. And one more. This might be the same as one we saw, but let's watch it again.
Holy shit, dude. What did it run? 834. 834.
That was an 834, and then here's an 832. I think he had at least two 830 passes. Nick, how many passes did you make? I couldn't make sense of the videos. I was too rushed. So a 119 60 foot. 119. 119. Out of a blower car, off the foot brake. Who knows if you really leaned on it? It looks like the track could have taken anything. Did you try to hit it any harder, Nick? let's go back to that slip real quick. 119, 132 in the 8th, 167. So picked up 35 out the back. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. Eric just gave us a nice tip. 832 at almost 168. So, won't be long, I think, before we're seeing 170 out of these cars. I don't really know if I don't know if it's realistic to hope for any kind of better 60 foot out of it, because that sure as hell is, I mean, if we could do that every time, that's good. It'd be nice to do better, but always, but that's pretty good. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna roll back a little bit and go over the comments, and then if you guys have any more questions. Let's see. Okay. Seeing where I left off. Sorry. It's a little hard to follow this sometimes. Stock 2020 GT500. Dan Capper, want to go drag radial. Do you recommend 18s? Yes, Dan. And I'll be the first to admit that I said this to Lee and Steve. Lee, Dennis, and Steve Nestor, Steve's been real busy with work, but he will be running very soon, so don't count him out. But, I consider those two my two initial development guys. They both came down to Florida right when they got their cars in January. We did a bunch of R&D, gave us a huge head start on development for the GT500, and they were talking 18s kind of early on, and I made fun of them, and I said I'm all about 20s. I can go just as fast on 20s, and you know what? Obviously, Paramount proved that they can go fast on 20s, 860, but on the GT500, I really think the 18's a better choice for a few reasons. Part of it is the alignment that comes on the car in the first place isn't the best. So if you're going to stick with a factory style alignment, you might as well get as much tire under there as you can. And, just in general, I don't really think it's just the alignment. I could not get my car to work on 20s. Every other car I have, but not my GT500. So I broke down and went 18s. If you're looking for a set of wheels, let us know. We are now a Forge Line dealer. I picked Forge Line because they're made in the USA. I have a direct line to the owner. That's very important to me on a lot of the companies we deal with, and why I deal with a lot of companies I deal with. It just so happens that Whipple is one of the baddest supercharger companies in the world, but I also happen to be able to contact Dustin Whipple when I need to. And I am developing the same relationship with Forge Line, and I hope that we can go really far with it. We're going to offer some stuff that a lot of people haven't offered before on the higher end wheels. Now, Forge Line is offering a drag line now for those of you guys that don't know, and they're super badass. I'm not going to go into that and pull up pictures of my car. You guys have seen plenty of that. But, they're a little bit more expensive than a Weld, but there's some nice things about them that a Weld won't do. First off, everybody has Welds. And if they're not Welds, they look like Welds. They're black anodized wheels with diamond cut surfaces. Great, but a little tired of that look. I have them on my 11, but not Welds, but my billet specialties. They look like Welds, just a different design. So, Forge Line's bringing a little bit of a different taste to the drag market. Their B-Lock design is awesome. The wheels are highly customizable, so give us a call if you're looking. We're going to be offering not only just normal wheels, but we're going to start offering Forge Lines like a crate option, ready to mount on the car. It's going to come with everything: the tires on it, the pressure sensors, all everything you want, all on a crate. Truck to your house, lug nuts, the whole nine. Put them on the car and go. You don't have to deal with anything once they get there. So that's what I would do on the wheels. Let's see. Serpent Stangs, can we go 9s on 100 octane? Yes, absolutely. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Paramount said that it looks like El Toro. Yeah, I don't think El Toro's ever been that fast without nitrous, though. So he was up higher, but that's what a little bit of nitrous will do on the hit. TJ, his shifts right after the 60 was nasty. Yeah, that sounds badass. I'm not so sure that's the best for performance. I think it was just tagging the limiter just a little bit. So we could probably, I'll let a little cat out of the bag. I don't believe that Rob even saw a log that night of the car. They're having some problems logging it. I think he did send an update, just kind of guessing off time slips and videos. So that just goes to show you, when you touch enough cars, sometimes you don't even need to see a log to tune. World record pass with no log. Wesley said Nick made 3 passes that night. I think that were they all 830s? I know there was 2 830s for sure. Ben, my lord, 8s is the new 10. It's the new 9 for sure. Nothing to take away from a 9-second car. 9-second cars are badass, that's for sure. But 8s are becoming a lot more common. Yeah, Walter, 119 is silly. Hopefully we can get your car down there. I mean, I think for you to go as fast as you did without really analyzing it close, but neither did those guys, I don't think. I mean, they do a great job at the car, don't get me wrong, but these performances were a little bit of a shock to everybody, including Paramount, and I don't know about Nick, but I know that 860 was definitely a shock. So, I guess we're saying they're a shock because we feel, you hear that all the time. So I'm not even going to say it. I am going to say it is, there's a lot more left in these cars. You hear that all the time, but truly there is. All right. I'm getting caught up, guys. Serpent saying, although the weather is starting to get really nice here, I wonder if 9s on pump gas is possible. Yeah, I think 9s on pump gas is definitely possible in good weather. But, with the ported blower and all, you'd have to really maximize it. I mean, I made almost 900 on pump gas with the ported blower. No, nobody's done that with the new GT500. I don't know what the record is for pump gas, to be honest with you. We'd have to look at our ET list. We'll look that up in a little bit. I'm going to stick with the Whipple conversation right now, but we can go circle back to that in a little bit. John, what size slicks fit for the rear of an S550 with stock rear suspension? Most people go with 17 by 10 wheel. Anything smaller, you got to change quite a bit. And there's an argument that 15s won't work as well because of the alignment setup. Paramount, 3 passes, 1 pass aborted. So two 830 passes, and the other pass didn't even really count. Yeah, Walter, we got to really concentrate on the 330, and I see a lot, impossible transmission tuning on your car. When I say a lot, 500th here, 500th there, not, 10th here or there, but that's how it gets when you get that fast. 500th is a lot. Nick is on Steeda suspension, he wanted to point out. Is the thing shifting while the front's airborne? No, well, it's real close, man. Real close. Eric is asking Nick what shocks are on the vehicle. I'm assuming Vikings if I had to guess, but let's hear from Nick. Be also interested to hear if Kelly Aiken's involved in the car because he does a lot for a lot of people, but I'm not sure if you're running his stuff or not. Brian Crawford, E85 is not available in my area, so I would like to run Meth when I get my turbo kit. Is there a system that you guys prefer? All right, yeah, let's talk about Meth for a minute. That's a good conversation because this comes up often. I'll state that I'm not a huge fan of Meth injection. Methanol fuel is great. Meth injection, oftentimes more than not, isn't very good for distribution. What that means is, let's say you're injecting it into the inlet of the blower, you not the inlet of the blower, before the throttle body, you're depending on the air to bring that into the intake manifold and distribute it perfectly between all 8 cylinders. And that's never going to happen, really. If it's close, you're probably okay. So that's one problem I don't like about methanol. The other problem I don't like about methanol is no matter how good the kit is, and depending on what methanol you're going to use, you can run into contamination of the nozzle, and you got to clean it. So you need kind of like a owner that's on top of it. That being said, I do have methanol on my Explorer. I played with that a little bit on the turbo car. But alky control is what's on my car. I like those kits if you're going to do methanol. Paramount says hoping at best to go 890 or 880. Yeah, that was, sometimes you just got to get lucky. But, the way the track was, and again, big shout out to TJ there, is it looked like it could take more. Eric Rowe, what's the difference between a 15 through 17 versus an 18 when it comes to flex tunes? I was told you don't do flex on 15 through 17. Another good question, and one we get pretty often. My opinion on this and why the decision was, we never did flex tunes in general earlier because there's some hackish ways around it to do flex, but it's not really working properly. And what do I mean by properly? Well, there's many things that get taken into account on a true flex fuel tune, whether you're tuning it with a standalone or the factory is flex and all that. Not talking about an aftermarket flex tune, but a true well-tuned flex tune is it's gonna adapt for fuel. That's absolutely required. Otherwise, it's not a flex tune. So you're gonna adapt for fuel. You can put E85 in it. You can put 93 in it. You can put a mix in it. It's always gonna adapt. That's the most basic flex tune, and you can do that on a 15 through 17. But I've always taken the approach of I'm only going to sell you stuff that I would run myself, or I would want it tuned this way myself, or I would take a tuning approach on my own car. If I wouldn't do it on my own car, I don't really want to sell it to you guys because there's other places you can buy it. And the reason I don't want to if I decide not to sell something, it's probably because I think it's either a shortcut or not the right way to do it, or maybe it's not safest for your car or any of those things. When it comes to a 15 through 17 or really a pre-17 E85 or a flex fuel tune, there are things not being handled correctly that I want handled correctly. And then the main reason is timing, okay? There's no real way to properly handle timing. On a real flex fuel tune, there's alcohol spark tables and there's gasoline spark tables. And based on the mixture of your ethanol and pump gas, it's going to blend between those tables. So as a tuner, I can tune your car for the proper amount of timing and all is well. Now, what happens when you don't have that? 15 through 17. You cannot do that with a 15 through 17. You're handling fuel, but you're not handling timing. So the method that a lot of tuners use that I've seen or heard is they just let the car tune itself, basically, which means they open up the range of the NOx sensors and they allow adaptive spark. And when it has 93, it may knock here or there and it pulls timing and it knows it doesn't run the timing. And then you run the 85 and it knows it can add the timing, but it's very unreliable. And I believe, I can't say it how I really want to say it because it sounds like an attack on other tuners and it's not, but I could have made a lot of money selling 15 through 17 flex tunes. We probably lost some customers not selling 15 through 17 flex tunes, but the cars, when we deliver a tune, I want it to run the way I want it to run because that's what you're paying me for, right? You're not paying, you're paying for a Palm Beach dyno tune, which Palm Beach dyno tune is Ken and Rob and Trevor and the other new guys all like deciding what they do. And we make decisions differently than other companies. Other companies may decide, we'll let the NOx, the guy wants, here's the best way to look at it. Let's look at it outside of tuning. A lot of the times we tune a car and I'll talk to a shop that we're tuning a car for. And they say to me, I'll question a part. Why'd you put these on the car? Say like a crappy injector. That's what the customer wanted. Guess what? I don't give a shit what the customer wants in that situation because as a professional, it's your job to come up with a plan for that customer because the customer, if he was a professional and he could pick out the parts, then he probably doesn't need you anyway, right? Or, and there's not always 100% black and white, right or wrong on parts choice, but if I'm tuning a car, I want it done a certain way. And if I'm building a car, I consult on building cars with RareFab. We don't build anything directly as Palm Beach Dyno, but if you come to me and you say, I want to do this a certain way, and I tell you, no, I don't want to do it that way, we really need to do it this way. And it's, now there's small differences that I'm flexible on, but there's certain things I'm not. And if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to go, oh, well, it's a job. I'm not interested in that at all. If you want me to give you a successful build, it's going to check the marks that I need checked. And if you're not going to check them, no hard feelings. You know, maybe you can work with somebody else and be happy. And that's happened. And other people have gone other ways and used parts that I don't agree with and probably been successful and probably been happy and probably said, that Ken guy didn't know what he's talking about. You know, there's exceptions to every rule, but in general, you know, I make part suggestions based on my experience, and you're going to find an example every time, especially injectors. I'm so tired of hearing about it, and I hear about it from big people in the industry. But my buddy used these injectors, and their car ran fine. Well, guess what? I could get any injector. I could probably get out a drill some holes in it, make it bigger, and make it run fine in person. But that's not what we do. We build very finely tuned vehicles that are very, very repeatable, and that requires a repeatable injector. So the same holds true for tuning. If you want your car tuned a certain way and we don't agree with that, we're not going to just do it for money. That's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. It's America, right? You know, we're in business. I'm not going to hold that against anybody, but we have enough business that I could try to give good advice and stick to that good advice. And if you don't want to take my advice, then I'm not going to take your money. That's the answer. Sorry, that was really long. Anyway, where were we? Dennis, that's great to know on Forgeline. Yeah, man, I encourage you to, contact us on the Forgeline wheels. I really believe in the wheels. Not the biggest. There's so many reasons I like Forgeline. They've been around forever. Now, there might be a couple people that might be wondering, like I posted a couple issues I had with my Forgelines early on, but that's the important part. Every company has issues, but it's the way Forgeline handled it that struck up this relationship. And I'm dealing directly with the owner, and that really impressed me. Anyway, they should make a drag wheel out of carbon fiber. There was actually a company, not a wheel that we could run on our cars, but Ultra Carbon, that makes a lot of carbon fiber parts for our vehicles. With I have doors from them. I have a lot of stuff from them. Seats. They started down that path, and I don't know what happened. They were going more after like the NHRA crowd, like the really fast cars, which obviously have the budget for that. I don't know if that's over with or it's on hold, but I haven't heard much more about that. Nick has Steeda shocks and struts. Yeah, the 2-3 shift needs a little work. For those of you guys that don't know, he says 2-3 shift. It sounds like the 1-2 shift, but we start in second gear. So it's the first shift you hear, but technically it is the 2-3. Max horsepower limit on a Voodoo engine, asked by Music Stock. We've made 1,000 plus on those. Check out a recent video that we just released. We tuned the Mustang Lifestyle GT350 with a Whipple, man. How many times do I got to say it? And we did a test on that vehicle from a 3.6 pulley to a 3.3 pulley with E85, all the different deal. AR Icy says, hi, please answer. But I don't see a question. So I scroll back even for you. I don't see your question. So ask it again. I might have missed it. Is the 1080 tunable yet? Yes. 1080 is tunable. Every Ford transmission's been tunable. The reason the DCT is not tunable on the GT500 is because of the Tremec deal. Typically on a Ford transmission, not always, but in the Mustang world mostly, is the transmission controller was always built right into the PCM. It's all one computer that controls the PCM, or controls the engine and the transmission all in one. The DCT is a separate transmission controller called a TCM for transmission control module, and a PCM is powertrain control module, ECM engine control module. Anyway, it has, I guess you would say it has an ECM and a TCM, and the ECM is Ford and tunes just like everything else we've ever tuned, but the TCM is all new and we have no information on it, and it's very difficult to get into. So 10 or 80 was no problem. We were tuning that right off the bat. DCT is going to be a big problem, I think. Serpent Stangs, what effect does porting the blower have on MCT? I need to figure out how to make a little bit more power on the road course while keeping temps in check. I can't guarantee anything, but our new lid may help a little bit. It really unshrouds the outlet of the blower. We haven't really done a lot of road testing on it. It's definitely going to work at the road. Definitely going to work at the drag strip. On the dyno, I saw a trend of a few degrees cooler, but you're not going to really see the differences on the dyno with something like that. So the lid may help. The porting, I think, would definitely help because you're basically making it more efficient. One advantage of the ported blower in your case that you haven't considered probably, but I will point it out right now, is on a road race car like you have that you use for road racing, torque can be a big problem. You can really wind up, having a little trouble as you get up and boost where you want the high horsepower. The torque gets so high, it gets a little uncontrollable on exit speeds. And we can control some of that through the tune, but porting actually brings down the boost a little bit at the lower RPM. So at higher boost with the porting, it'll actually bring the torque back down a little bit, which could be beneficial in a road race environment. Yeah, no tuning on the DCT yet. Terry, yeah, Terry's is heavy. Let's see. TJ says Keltrack will have your chit hooking harder than a Las Vegas call girl. Yeah, I mean, Keltrack is awesome. For those of you guys that don't know, that's Kelly Aiken's new deal. He's always done a lot of consulting and helping, and obviously he was a big staple at BMR for a long time, and he has his own deal now, and I encourage you guys to look into him. I just bought a bunch of stuff from him for our new Godzilla project that we're hoping to get started on, like a YouTube series here. Like, I wanted to shoot it this week, but with the FL2K coming in, that's not going to happen. Slow A10, what's up? Oh, that's Austin. What else? Garage Junkie, able to adjust shift points in person with the 2500? No. I have access to the TCM for shift points, but it doesn't work. It works, but it doesn't. You might as well just shift it yourself. Let's put it that way. I've gotten it to follow that, but there's some sort of logic going on that is keeping it from staying there. Garage Junkie, people who get flex tunes. Yeah, that's the other problem. A lot of people are ordering flex tunes that don't even know what they want. Eric Rowe, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Buy the guys some lunch. That's what I've been using these tips for. It's lunch at the shop. I think maybe we'll do a live feed from the shop here soon. We just kind of redid our office. It's nothing. If you saw the office that we were in, you guys would really be shocked. I don't know exactly how big it is. It's probably not even 10 by 10. I'm not really sure, but there's 4 of us in there. We just redid it so we can fit more people in there. I'm trying to find a new location for us, but we're having a lot of trouble. Anyway. Tom Juan says customers not always right. Right. And, I consider it tough love. When I tell you no to tune your car, I'm telling you because I'm hoping that maybe it helps you reconsider your parts choice. Tom, do you ever have issues with open basket fuel hangers having issues with the fuel level get low? Yes, very much. All the time. Major problems. I think I bring this car up every week, but it's a good example. Jimmy's 680 car that was first in the sevens. We had major issues with that car. That car would 60 foot 120 and would starve the fuel constantly. We had to run that car with the fuel tank full. Ugh, excuse me. Nick, I'd be curious to know what you're doing about that actually with the 119 60 foot if you had any issues there. Maybe that's what that pop is on the shift. Would you run a Forged Coyote in minus 30 degree weather truck? I mean, there's no such thing as like a forged motor, and that depends way more on who built it than who, if it has forged parts versus hyper eutectic. So that's up to you. I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't drive anything I spent a bunch of money on in minus 30 degree weather, but I kind of hope to never, ever, ever, ever in my life ever again drive in 30 degree weather. So, but I don't know. If that was me, if you could afford it, I think I personally would have like an older truck for that kind of stuff. I want to install a Whipple Gen 5 Stage 2 on my 2016 GT. Do I need to upgrade the clutch? All right, I got a great example for you there. It really depends on how you use the car. And I'll give you an example with the same person, two different cars. It's me. I had a 2015, and, well, I guess this isn't really a great example because both examples are on the street. But one car got beat way more than the other car. I had a 2015 that got a Whipple. It wasn't a Gen 5, of course, back then, but it was a probably like a Gen 3 2.9, and I killed the clutch the very first night out. I got the car done. I went to race my buddy with his Viper, and I got stranded an hour away from home. So at that point, I was like, man, never doing that again. Well, I wound up getting a 2016 and put a Whipple on it, and I bought a clutch for that car very early on, but I decided to kind of wait. And that car, I enjoyed driving it on the street, but I didn't really drive it like a maniac. I never really raced it much at all. I bought that car to kind of get into maybe doing a stick shift deal, but I wound up selling it. But I mean, I drove it and I had a lot of fun. So if you're really, really, really conservative, especially on the gear changes, you could probably get away with a stock clutch for a little bit. The one I broke really early on, I mean, I was power shifting it at $8,000. So what did I expect? Michael Swank, don't forget about PBD at Rocky Mountain Race Week. Yeah, I think I'm going to try, because I wasn't there. I mean, Trevor gave me all the information, but I don't feel qualified to really like talk about it like it should. So I'm going to try and get Trevor and maybe Kyle on here on a live feed, maybe next week video, so they can talk about it. Prestige, Brian, just got my brand new GT350. Could you remind me on how you suggested the break-in period? And I was also wondering on how you protect the paint on your GT500. I'd probably change how I did it now because I have so much money into the car now. I don't, another $1,000 or so isn't a huge deal. I would get the whole entire car PPF. Mine is just PPF from the windshield forward, on the mirrors, and on the lower part of the door. And then it has ceramic coat on top of that. But I was just, I don't know. I was trying to be cheap, and I didn't want to do the whole car. But that's how I would do it. We got to get that thing with a Whipple on it, though. It's probably slow stock. All right. Dan, I can't imagine four of you in that small. Dude, it's bad. It's super tight. I mean, it works. Our desks are super small, which, you know, kind of motivates me to be a little cleaner. I'm real messy with my desk, so smaller the desk, the better, probably. Second gear, 10 or 80. Ever have issues of it punching, kicking rather into gear. Yeah, that happens sometimes. We've had that on some vehicles. I can't really tell you why it does it. I can't even say that we've resolved it. It seems a little bit inconsistent vehicle to vehicle. Nick always tries to run a 3/4 tank of fuel, so that gives you a good example. Like I said, on Jimmy's 6 or 80 car, we wound up, because we were just trying to make it as fast as possible and we didn't want to carry that much fuel, we made a Rarefab made a 5-gallon maybe or 8-gallon fuel cell that only went on the one side of the car but still connected to the factory fuel tank. We never released that as a product because liability reasons with a fuel tank. Is that normalish? It's not, I wouldn't call it normalish garage junkie on the clunking into the gears, but I have seen it. One thing I would do sometimes when it does that, I have had issues with it. It's resolved by fluid level in the transmission. So anyway, Paramount Speed suggests garage junkie that you update the valve body strategy. That's also a very good idea. Where the heck do you live, Brayback 68, that you're in 45 to negative 45 C? Come on, man. I'm too retarded. Excuse me, I shouldn't use that word. I'm too stupid to even know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that sounds ridiculous. Where do you live? I need to know. North Alberta, Canada. Man. So I'm guessing your race season's already over, right? Is it getting that cold up there? Sometimes it's hard to keep in touch with everybody, really know what's going on. It's getting colder everywhere. For those of you guys that missed the beginning of the show, speaking of cold, we had these last year. Or maybe the year before, actually. I don't think we had any last year. I can't remember. RUNPBD hoodie. It's got Palm Beach Dyno on the front. It's real nice, comfortable setup. They run pretty normal. I'm somewhere between a medium and a large in a shirt. I wear a large in that. Oh, and we also have these shirts coming soon. It's the Rob Shoemaker Leave Me Malone shirt. This is not it. This is just like a quick mock-up. Got to make a couple changes to it. Gary Mesmer, 92 LX hatch build, Coyote with a Gen 5 Whipple. What's your thought on getting 800 wheel horsepower? What year is your Coyote from? Depends on the year. If it's a Gen 1, then yeah, I would definitely build it for 800 wheel. Illuminator's fine. 15 through 17 or 15 plus. I doubt it's a 18 plus, but a 15 through 17. You don't need to do anything to it for 800. Eric, 4 in the office and the dog. Yeah, it's a little tight in there. We got 3 dogs actually at the shop. Not all the time, but we've got Simon and Willow, and then we also have Murray is the new addition. And Murray and Simon are still getting to like each other. Peter, the auxiliary idlers, we got 10 in today, and those went out today. So if you were one of those first 10 to order, yours went out today, and then I think we've got another shipment in tomorrow coming, another 10 or 20. So by tomorrow, I don't think we've sold more than 30. So I think if you haven't ordered yet, get your order in, but we should have one for you tomorrow. Gary, 15 plus. You don't really need it kind of depends on pricing. The Illuminator's probably a little bit stronger, but a 15 through 17 engine, we push those 800 to 900 pretty often without issue. So it really just depends on if you can find a 15 through 17 for a really good deal. I'd probably just do that and not touch it. If you're close on pricing, then you might be better off doing an illuminator. I doubt it, though. You could probably find a 15 through 17 cheap. Probably just put oil pump gears in it since it's out of the car to begin with. All right, guys, we are 1:35 into this. If you guys have any more questions or got any more topics you want to talk about, kind of wrap this thing up. We've been trying to shoot for about 2 hours or less. I haven't eaten dinner yet. That's a normal topic on Monday nights during my live feed. All right, guys. Let's get those questions in. Anybody got any winter build plans going on? What are you guys going to do to your cars? Any new cars coming? Dan, when's the GT500 going to get some road racing action? Well, if you would have asked me that 6 months ago, I would have guaranteed it would have been by now. But, you know, I just got totally sucked into the drag racing side of it. And I really haven't even, I mean, I went to 970, but that was a bullshit pass. I could do a lot better than that. So I'm going to try and max it out here the next month for drag racing, and then put it back in road racing mode and get it to the actual road course. Part of it has been COVID. Palm Beach was shut down for a lot of it. They just opened up 100%. So, Gary, it depends on what you have done to it as far as cost on tuning, and there's lots of different options there. Excuse me. I would call or email us at support@pbdyno, or call us 561-571-1173, and we can tell you exactly what it'll cost. With the device, if it's naturally aspirated, I think you're probably looking somewhere in the 600 to 700 range with the device, and you know, a lot more than that if it's got a blower on it or something. Barry, thoughts on Hellion sleeper kit from 15 through 17? The Hellion sleeper kit's awesome. We really haven't talked about them a ton lately. Our number one Hellion car in the shop right now is a street race car. So we don't talk about it or power numbers, but the power was phenomenal recently on that. So a turbo kit, we recommend Hellion all the way. Pretty much our two major brands that we recommend are Whipple for Supercharger and Hellion for Turbo. We do support other brands, but those are the ones that we recommend. Slow A10, track rental soon. Yeah, Austin, I was planning on a track rental. I'd really like to rent the road course and the drag strip the same day. Jess, my lethal fuel system is going to be delivered tomorrow. Can't wait. Yeah, we don't build cars in the winter down here. We're just getting ready for the good weather. Roush 2.3. I mean, you can go in the low 20s with that blower, depending on what generation 2.3 it is. Porting would be a big help. Joe, I've heard mixed issues or mixed things on tuning with the GT350 throttle body. Is it worth the aggravation, or keep your stock throttle body? I'd probably keep the stock throttle body. We have had similar issues on our end. Whipple Gen 5. Yeah, that's a good idea. Gary, if you haven't already gotten all your stuff, we could probably, if you want us to tune it, I bet you we can save you a lot of money. We could probably sell you the engine, the Whipple, the tune, every part you need. So I'd at least price it out through us as one complete package, because we can kind of discount it all rather than just piecing it together. If you're able to buy it all at once, sometimes you're just buying it in separate pieces. So I understand that. But if you're buying it all at once, at least give us a chance to quote that out for you. Lonzo, injector for Gen 1 with 2.9 Whipple, 56-pound injector would be pump gas, ID 1050X or bigger, ID 1300 if you're really going after it, for E85. Dan has a GT350 throttle body and has no issues, but unfortunately, there's guys that have Joe Blow injectors that have no issues. There's guys that have Camaros that have no issues, but that doesn't make it right. What about VMP 3 on 03 Cobra? I assume you mean Gen 3. Yeah, we do a lot of VMP blowers, VMP and Roush type setups, TVS setups, Edelbrock, all the TVS stuff, kind of tunes similarly, and they do great. Marvin Gillard, hi, what's up, man? Trying to order a hoodie on your website, but I don't see a Barry. I appreciate that. We can get you a sweatshirt. Here's the problem: if you are in California and you want to order anything from us, because California, well, I'm not going to get political, because it's a special state, and I don't have an easy way to filter our website to sell certain parts there and not sell certain parts. I just have California shut off. You can't buy anything if you live in California. But if you call us and it's a non-carb controlled part, which of course a sweatshirt, I think California would be okay with. I don't know. They may check it on at the border. Let me see your papers, please. Just kidding. Yeah, if you give us a call, we can process that order in person, Barry. It's 561-571-1173. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Mike Norton, what's the new size blower that Whipple is coming out with, and how much horsepower should it be good for? It's the 3.8 liter, and horsepower quote's hard to say because it doesn't really exist. But if you use the Gen 5 3 liter, which is basically a 3 liter, well, first off, there's been multiple generations of the Gen 5 3 liter. It says Gen 5. There's different generations that are all called Gen 5, different things we try, different porting we try, and everything that's been learned on the 3 liter that you're seeing Nick go 167 with his car. Now Carlos just went 167 with the 3.5 pulley. All that, the changes that they've made to the 3.0 blower to get to that point are being incorporated stock into the 3.8 blower. So I would put the 3.0 blower in the max range of 13 to 1400 at the wheels. So the 3.8, I don't know, 15, 1600, I would say at the wheels, no problem. Not no problem. No. 15, 1600 at the wheels is never no problem. Trevor, see, look at you, Trevor. You say don't rag on my Camaro, and you don't even know how to spell Camaro. That explains it. That's why you bought a Camaro. All right, Eric, FIC 1000 is good to run. We can talk about injectors real quick. That's the only, we have a Palm Beach Dyno accepted injector list, which we're going to start enforcing more and showing more, instead of you guys buying the tune and then telling you, hey, we don't tune those injectors. We generally only tune Ford injectors and injector dynamic injectors, meaning Ford injectors like 47s and 56s and things like that, or ID 1050X, 1300, 1700, 2650. Except we will do some other brands with the 1000 range injectors, FIC being one of them, DW 1000s also, or I think they call them 95s. Serpent Sangs, Ken, you really need to get on a real road course like Atlanta. Yeah, I definitely need to go. I want to be on a bigger track than PBIR, but I think PBIR is probably a good place to start. And then we've got Homestead. They've got that Roval set up, which is pretty, not too bad. And then I'd like to do Sebring, of course. Yeah, it'd be cool to meet up, man, for sure. I'd like to do that with, maybe we can get a bunch of guys. Sebring would be great if you want to come down here because that's close for me. Maybe we'll do something like that over the winter. Yeah. Rashad, my buddy was tuned from Palm Beach. It's crazy how fast 1080 Coyote is. I have a Gen 2 CTSV bolt on with Cam. He is running with me. Good work, man. I love keeping up. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. These 10-speed NA, I assume you're saying he's keeping up with you with the NA 10-speed with your CTSV, which I believe, and that's cool. Alonzo, we can sell you a carb legal kit, but it would be with the Whipple tune, which we can sell you. No problem. So, give us a call. We can sell to California. If you really want something from us, just call us. I tried to limit the website and allow certain products through and certain products not through, and it became just too much work. And honestly, before I limited it, we didn't have a huge amount of business in California, so that's why we just cut it off on the website. But give us a call. We can definitely sell you a Whipple turnkey with the Whipple tune, carb certified, all that kind of stuff. Victor, is there a shop in Connecticut that we work with and recommends? Jimmy shops in Connecticut, the shop CT. He's more of an all-around shop, not like a Mustang-only shop, but they do good work there. I don't know anybody else in Connecticut. I mean, we're friendly with other shops there, but they have their own tuners. So if you want our tune, I'm not really sure other than the shop. What's up, Brett? Brett, Joker's Performance. We're testing. Got another blower coming from my car. I've had 2 different blowers on my car. We've tested another port on Mark's car, and then another port is coming on my car. So he's working hard for us, that's for sure. We'll be tuning Brett's car here real soon on the late model throttle dyno with some mods. I thought we would be doing that by now. I'm not sure where that's at. Hey, Ben. Yeah, Ben, Serpent Stangs, Ben right above you. He runs Stangs of South Florida. He'd be a good guy if you want to try to put together a Sebring deal. He might be helpful in trying to put that together. He's more of a road racer. We just put a Whipple on his 17 performance pack car. Prod Rodriguez. I recently installed a Gen 5 3-liter Whipple on a 19 GT. Have the code 2119 throttle body control actuator. Is that an easy fix? I'm tuned by you guys. Runs great. Does it run good with that code? I wouldn't think so. On the 19s, I'm not sure. We shouldn't have that code, first off. On the earlier cars, we had to adjust the magnet. I don't think that applies to the 19 because it's a digital throttle body. I would hit us up. We'll get you worked out one way or another. Brett says Wednesday or Thursday we'll be getting his car ready to rock on the dyno. See you, Walter. We're wrapping it up now, guys. Get your questions in. About another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to hit the road. Manic S550. What's up? 18 manifold, 1050X injectors. 11.5 to 1 compression, E85, packs 2200, 16 PSI and a 3.3 pulley. About what horsepower should you expect? 16 PSI on that setup. You should be probably 900 plus. I don't think you'll hit 1,000, but low to mid 900s, I'm guessing. Okay, it shuts off when you get that code. So it runs good, but then when you get the code, it shuts off. Yeah, that could be a problem with the throttle body. I would hit us up on our support side or give us a call, and we'll try to help you talk through the troubleshooting steps. Serpent Stanks. I think we might be able to get enough GT500 guys that we could maybe do a private rental. I know Lethal Performance is probably interested in teaming up on that, so we can probably get them involved. And if we do it December, January, maybe we can make it into like a vacation. I know you're from up north, and you'll probably want to come down and spend a little bit of time down here and race your car. Maybe we can kind of promote it that way, or come down to Florida for a week. We'll go to Sebring and maybe go to the drag strip too, all that kind of stuff. Do 4 or 9 gears for the 1080, are they good? Some people run those. I know BMR had that in their car. I think the 373 is probably the better choice. And I think they would say that now too. Nicholas Hernandez. Is there a way to fit a or a 10-speed auto into a 6-speed auto to make it like a 16-speed? Or you mean, sorry, I'm just kidding. I think you mean put a 10-speed into a 6-speed auto car, like that had a 6-speed in it. Yeah, I can do anything. The real question is like the budget. To definitely make it work, you'd probably have to switch computers. I don't think you can control it with the computer out of the 6-speed car if that's what you're asking. But we could take, maybe take a 10-speed computer and put it in your car, most likely. I have not done it. That's just based off of what I think we can do. Jeff McDaniel, how do I feel about an 1187 at 128 on a Michelin street tire, second gear leave? Any 11 on a street tire is really good on an NA car. Oh no, that's well, it doesn't even matter NA, a Whipple car even. Any 11 on a street tire, it's so tough to get it moving. Obviously, you did some work in the second half of the track, most likely. I'd say that's really good. You know, I'd probably throw the second gear leave probably helped you there. Throw some good tires on it though. You'll have more fun, I think. Street tires fun to work out, and you know there's some of those street tire classes, but in general, it can get kind of frustrating. Mark Siege, saw your Shelby on TRC. That shit rolls out and looks good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I really am super happy with the way that video turned out. Big props to TRC on that. I mean, I can't really even explain how awesome it is to have guys like that in town. And I mean, it's true. I mean, you know, I love all my YouTube family. I do a lot of YouTube videos. I try to do fairly decent quality videos. I think I could do better if I had more time, but those guys take a truly professional approach. They have a few guys that shoot top-notch equipment, take their time editing, and it shows. Jeff, I'm not sure what you're asking about a Gen 3 Whipple. Barry McCockiner. Sorry about that. I screwed up your name. 4 level 2 system with 1050X Hellion sleeper kit, good for 900. Yes. Any dual pump setup should be good for, not any, but most of the dual pump setups with a 4 kit, which usually has the good pumps in it, is definitely good for 900, and 1050s is good for 900. Typically, I've stretched that setup as far as 1,000, but I really wouldn't do that. Nick, 5,000 cover the computer. I don't know, man. There's so much involved. There's no way I could even guess on that. The computer itself is only probably $800 or $900, but you know you might have to change a harness in the car. Who knows? It could add up. Thanks, Ben. TRC video is fire. Ricky Rick. Okay, he's answering. Nick. Clayton, I have a 10 or 80, most likely going to do full bolt on 85. I have 315 gear. Should I go up? If you're going to stay naturally aspirated, yes. 315 gear is really very good for a power rider car. But on an NA car, yeah, you're going to want more gear most likely out of it. A lot of guys are running 373. 373s with good luck. My battery just died. One sec. Crap. It just said full a second ago. I'm getting fast at changing that out. Now that's how I know we've got. Actually, I think I got some aftermarket batteries and the real batteries for my camera. The real battery will last like 2.5 hours, and this one under 2. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, I didn't want to end with a battery screen, but I am going to wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes. So any more questions you guys have, shoot them my way. For those of you guys that missed the beginning, I was talking about my cool LMT hat. LMT, they're badass. You know, they're the ones who make our throttle body. They're the ones doing the lid. They work on the Joker's blowers with Brett. So really, really super badass machinist there. And design team. He has a guy, Mark, there that helps him with the lid. I haven't met Mark yet. Or I haven't met Jeff yet. Or Brett. I don't know any of these guys. It's all Facebook relationships, but great guys. Oh, Sean, info on fuel hats. I will find out. I know SPE just has a lot going on. So I don't have an update, but I will try and find one, find out an update for you. Hopefully, I don't know. He might have a prototype in the next, as far as I know, I would assume he would have sent a picture of it if he had it. The only thing he's done so far is the 3D print of it. And then he'll be going to doing prototyping next. Thanks, Gary. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Music. CJ on the 1850. I mean, all the fastest cars are running it. So if you're trying to go like be one of those guys, then you probably need it. You can go pretty far with an 18 manifold, though. That's for sure. Hey, Jess, the thumbs down came like 3 minutes after I posted the thumbnail this morning to tell what was going on. So it's somebody who A, subscribes to my channel, B, has alerts to my channel because it was right after I posted it, and C, doesn't like me. But I don't care. Thanks, Victor. Yeah, I've had, ever since I got into cars, I've been pretty active on the internet. I mean, I had a pretty large forum back in the day, Modular Depot, and I'm very used to dealing with haters, so I just kind of chuckle. Haters come and go. I'm still here. Yeah, Camaro owner. I'd like to give my Camaro guys a little bit of ribbon. Although, honestly, truth is, I don't really think they're that great. The Corvettes are pretty badass, but, I mean, it's rare that you even see a Mustang race a Camaro anymore because even Camaro guys don't want to try to race the new Mustangs. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and I will sign it off here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Next week, like I said, as always, please, send us in any information. If you got a big personal best, a record, something that you think might be a good topic for the show, be sure to contact us. Don't think that we're playing favorites. We're just going with what, people, we got to know what's going on. So if you think your car is worthy to be talked about, please get with us, and we'll get you on the channel. Send in any recommendations you have for topics. We are going to start adding guests here soon. I may try to do the first one with Trevor out in Oklahoma City to talk about Rocky Mountain Race Week. Those guys did really well out there. I'll let those guys tell you about all that on maybe the next one. So I'll get with Trevor. We'll get this set up and see if we can start bringing other people in on this. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.